I am just recently came back from Turkey where I had a beautiful retreat. And I, by the way, invite you all to the next retreat in October. And the spots are limited, so if you're interested, please contact me as soon as possible. Where you're gonna be in Mediterranean Sea, you're gonna have organic breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're gonna go on the boat riding. We're gonna have yoga, meditation, master classes. We're gonna swim together in the most beautiful sea that is a turquoise color with the mountains, forest, and beautiful cave in the water and outside on the land. So we're gonna do a lot of nature hiking and a lot of good quality time together. So if you're interested, please contact me and I would love to have you with us. We'll go probably either on the 3rd or 4th week in October. And my friends, one other thing that I wanted to share is that when you are going on a retreat, you're not just relaxing from your daily stresses in life and relationship, right, and work. You actually recharge yourself. And most of the ladies who came with me on the retreat, they came stressed, exhausted from relationship and work and all of the decision making. They left looking 10, 15, and one girl actually left 20 years younger because you're recharging, you're transforming your neurotransmitters because we're always on a survival, how to do more, how to make more money, how to make a relationship better, but we're thinking constantly. But the life actually happens in our soul. When we're transforming our relationship to ourselves and when we heal, that's when we relax, that's when we're happy, and that's when we get the results. So if you're interested, again, join me for the next retreat. So with that said, any questions so far? Said Alisa, what can I do if my boyfriend doesn't want to propose to me and we've been together for 4 years? And I will tell you, if you've been in a marriage, if you've been in a relationship and you want to get married to a man, you have to know one rule, ladies. And this is so hard for us in the modern society to get it, but it's very, very important. If you are doing the duties of a wife as sleeping together with a man, you're cooking for him, you're living with him, he doesn't see any motivation to propose to you and get married because you're already in his mind doing all of the duties of a wife. And why would he propose to you? So this is the biggest hint I tell you. It's important to know how to date a man. And if you do dating properly, men have no problem committing to a woman when he sees her, someone who gives him a value. How do you make him feel? Do you appreciate him? Do you value him? Do you acknowledge him? Do you make him feel proud? And then he feels the need. He sees the value in him because without you, he is not connecting to his emotions and feeling proud and feeling acknowledged and appreciated and loved. And when he feels that, he naturally wants to progress his relationship with you. And on the 4th stage, men naturally, after 5 to 6 months, want to start, they're thinking about engagement and they start seeing you as a potential wife. But if you're rushing the process of sleeping with him and start doing the duties of a wife, of cooking and cleaning and living with him, then you are killing this natural process for a man to desire you, to want to marry you. And so we have to know how different we are, because men and women are not the same. We're human beings, but we are different, and we have to understand the psychology of men. Men value high value women, and a high value to a man is a woman who is not rushing the process of jumping in bed and actually spends time to get to know you, to get to know man. What is his foundation? What is his principles? What is his values? What is his family? What is his long-term goal? Because you can be wasting time dating a man and at the end, he's not going to be interested to marry you because all he's looking for is a hookup or just a dating process. Pretty much free sexual intimacy. And every time you as a ladies have a free sexual intimacy by just dating a man and sleeping with him, you are violating yourself. You really do, because you're sleeping with one guy for a year or two, then you broke up 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then you wasted 10 years without commitment, without a marriage, without a family and children. And then your self-esteem goes down. It truly drops down and you feel like you're not dateable, you have no desire, and you're bitter and resigned. And the reason why you're bitter and resigned, hearts back to you, my friends, is because you wasted 10 years to a man who were not serious with you. And so you have to invest time, money, energy, and education in you to understand how to date men properly, to understand what men value. And if you give them this cheap sex, meaning you dated them 3-4 weeks or 3-4 days, and you are desiring him because he's good looking, or maybe because he's wealthy or rich, or what other reason you may have, but there's no guarantee through the sex you're gonna have a relationship. And let's be honest, ladies, each time you're dating a man, you are hoping as soon as you have intimacy to have a relationship with him, but it works back ways, meaning instead of jumping in and pleasing him with the sexual desire and having sexual intimacy, you gotta get to know him. And getting to know a man takes at least 6 months, ideally a year. And once you know this man and you've been waiting, holding your cherry, your man starts to fall in love with you because he now starts to respect you. Because if you slept with him on the second date, he views you, oh, in a previous relationship you slept with all men on the second date. But if you are dating him 6 months and waiting for engagement, he views you, wow, what a high value woman. I do want to marry her because she's so hard to get. And so you have to get, again, how men think completely different, and not the way you are judging men based on you. Because you're thinking, if you're gonna please him 6 months, a year down from now, he'll marry you because you're such a convenient, comfortable, pleasing, and sweet woman, and you slept with him on the third or fourth date. But actually it creates a completely different feeling for a man. He doesn't respect you and he doesn't value you. Because if you're just going to work to make money, it doesn't mean that it is your purpose. And we really truly have to be authentic with ourselves, because we're living in a time right now where vibration of earth starts to rise. During the 90s, the vibration of earth was 8.7 points. Right now, it's going higher than 100. And that means our consciousness, our vibration, spiritual energy starts to really vibrate higher. And this is the time where in the past you could have learned spiritual knowledge in 10 or 20 years. Now it happens in a year or two if you practice it. And so if you are really taking time to grow spiritual right now, or in a relationship or marriage, all of the knowledge grows not in 10 or 20 years, but really fast in a year or two. That's why I highly encourage you to really invest time, energy, and money into learning, in education. And thank you for the heart, my friend. How come some younger couples live together and still get married? Friends, yes, some young couples do live together and get married, but look at how many couples actually stay together. Because statistically, if a couple, let's say, goes on a dating process and live together for 4 or 5 years, by the time they get married, statistically, under 5 years, they go through divorce, or their relationship is very rocky. Let's be authentic. How many couples that are married do you know personally that are happy? Even if a woman can really squeeze a man and break his elbow and make him commit to her, it doesn't mean that the marriage will be happy. It will be harmonious, and both husband and wife will be growing together on the physical, emotional, and spiritual level. And if they're not growing together, yeah, there's a difference like that, it's okay. But when they start to fall apart this much, because a woman becomes really goal-driven, she starts to climb financial success really high, man starts to fall behind. What happens? She shifts to masculine energy and the man becomes more and more feminine. The relationship will be really miserable. Really miserable. And so yes, they could get married, but the truth is that the relationship will sooner or later will fall apart. It's just how long will they be miserable together. So I am not talking about just getting married to a man. Do the rules so you can get married. Not at all. Have a respect and dignity and love towards yourself so you can date properly. Find a man who will appreciate you, value you, and love you because he loves and appreciates himself, so that when you will unite together, you will have a happy and harmonious relationship and marriage together. I'm not talking about, oh, here's the rules. Get a man, marry you. Not at all. So please don't collapse this. I took 1 year, that was not enough. Sometimes it takes longer to get to know someone, but ideally minimum of 6 months, and typically 1 year is enough if you are dating properly. The reason why you're saying 1 year is not enough is because sometimes we are seeing the red flags, whether it's in a girlfriend or a boyfriend or someone we're dating, but we're closing our eyes. We're not willing to see what's really going on, because you see how they're treating their friends, you see how they're treating waiters and parents, but we're closing our eyes because the truth hurts. And that's why when we accept, appreciate, and love ourselves, we start to really see who the partner is when we're dating them. We see they're good, we see they're bad, and no one is perfect out there. And the reason why you attracted someone is also to work through some of the things that you are dealing with. For example, a lot of women have hard time to accept that the reason why they're in an abusive relationship, either emotionally or physically abusive relationship, is because they attracted this partner in order to grow. All of the women that I worked in the past as a therapist in private sessions who've gone through physical or emotional or even sexual abuse, as they were overcoming this abuse and healing in the therapeutical sessions, they started to grow emotionally, physically. Their self-esteem started to grow. They gone through transformation to the point that they couldn't recognize themselves. And so, my friends, the reason why you are with the partner that you attracted them in order to grow. The more abuse that you go through, the more transformation you're going to go through. And then if you're just living in life, oh, how horrible my husband is, how horrible my wife is, you are not appreciating Creator and yourself, that you've attracted them to grow. Because if you just have a really wonderful person, you're just happy, you're content, you're not growing. But if you have someone who is punching you emotionally, physically, verbally, it gives you the room to start noticing how insecure you are. What of a lowest self-esteem you have, that you attracted the person like that to push you fast to continue to grow and see what you need to overcome in yourself in order to detach. But in order to even to detach to the toxic or narcissistic partner or abusive partner, you gotta grow. And so it's a blessing from God to have this person next to you, because Creator himself is telling you, you need to grow. It's time to grow. And if you're single and alone, there's no one to show you what you need to overcome. Yes, sometimes our parents and kids are teachers, but partners especially, they're constantly telling us they're either, again, abusing us, or they're criticizing us, or something is not working with them. And so this is, again, the mirror to us to say, okay, I need to do something with myself and my life. I have a friend of mine from years ago. Her husband and her used to fight together. Husband had a really physically difficult job. He was working on a construction, and he would come home exhausted and would demand from my old girlfriend sexual intimacy. And she was complaining, I feel like I'm being raped every day. I say, honey, you're being a victim in this circumstance, but you are not a victim. At any point, you can stand up and walk away. She's like, I don't have any capacity to walk away. I said, exactly. And that's why Creator wants you to start going to therapy, start doing spiritual practices, so you become unrecognizable, to put a stop to your husband and start having self-dignity, self-respect, and self-love. And as she gone to therapy and she start doing spiritual practices, she start putting the brakes on the husband and saying, no more, no more. And at some point, husband stop and start respecting her. And all of a sudden, that if she was saying, please do remodeling, he start doing remodeling. He was never helping her with kids. He started helping her with kids. He used to drink alcohol every day. He stopped drinking alcohol. So the more she was changing, the more her husband was changing with her. So it's just an illusion that, oh my God, I have horrible wife, horrible husband. No, it's all the plan from above, and you've attracted that, and you gotta give a credit to your toxic partner or abuser, whether they're verbally, physically, or even sexually abusing you. It's all in order for you to grow. And whether you have a parents like that or kids who are not listening to you, they're all our teachers. I will be honest with you. Years ago, my son would come to me and would say, I am bored. I am bored. Imagining a 5-year-old constantly telling you you're bored. And then I start noticing, why is he bored? And then I've looked inside, I realized the reason why he's telling me that he's bored is because I am honestly bored. Because I've been in therapeutical small practice working for over 19 years, and I've already outgrew myself to just working on individual sessions. And I was bored doing just individual sessions. But money was good, and I was holding on to that security. And do you see how inauthentic I was? That my son is reflecting me and telling me constantly every 30 minutes, I'm bored, I'm bored. And then I had to be authentic with myself and close practice. And now 0 income. I am happy and content. And whenever I want to now, I come and talk to you. I lead spiritual practices. Well, I do little make money there, but I don't consider it even money because it's a contribution. And the moment I stop working, my son stops saying, I am bored. I am bored, because our kids reflect us. Our partners reflect our inner self. And just for the most part, we as a human beings are very inauthentic. We rather be a victim and pretend that all is good, house is good enough, work is good enough, husband is good enough, or then pick something in our kids, parents, or partners and concentrate on that we don't like, and make ourselves victim that I'm stuck. I cannot get divorced. I'm stuck because I'm worried that there will be no income, and you're now fully dependent, and you're concentrating only on 1 or 2 qualities that are bad in your partner, kids, or parents. And you living as a victim without being honest that these partners are reflecting your inner world, and they're helping you to grow both emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. So I hope that helps, my friends, even though I know it's uncomfortable and confronting conversation. Let's be honest. Thank you for the heart.